The most recent Pikmin Bloom mini walk was the first of its kind to take place in the US. The San Diego Zoo has been no stranger to doing Nintendo-related collaborations in the past. In August 2022, Niantic hosted several Pikmin Bloom Community Day live events, and one of them was right next to the zoo at the Balboa Japanese Gardens. In addition, the zoo itself hosted an Animal Crossing collaboration event around the launch of New Horizons, so it's no surprise to see them do a full-on Pikmin collaboration here. As usual, it looks like Johnny and Gianni are both live at the event zone. Take it away, Gianni.
Hello, today is Friday, November 29th, and we are not live whatsoever from outside the San Diego Zoo in the United States.
Why is it so cold then?
Because it's a complete lie. We are in fact still in Japan for this mini walk.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. The San Diego Zoo actually had two Pikmin events overlapping. The first one started October 1st, where Pikmin started appearing around Wildlife Explorer's base camp. These little Pikmin statues were just like the ones we saw at the Pikmin Terrace in Hiroshima. Then, starting on November 16th, Pikmin Bloom launched a mini walk around the zoo to coincide with the Pikmin collab that was already happening.
It looks like it's a very mini walk.
Yeah, it was indeed. We previously said that the Japan Tag mini walk in Germany earlier this year was the miniest mini walk of all, with 6 special spots to visit. But this one takes the cake with 4 in all. But since it's still classified as a mini walk, we decided to cover it anyway, even if it's going to be really small. Speaking of which, since we couldn't attend in person again, we'd like to thank the groups that sent us footage of the event, whose names you're now seeing appear on screen. Thank you so much for your contributions, as this video wouldn't be possible otherwise.
Oh no, brace yourselves, little guys.
Time once again for Glowy Pikmin to lead the way in spirit as we go on a virtual tour of the event.
Yes, it's very chilly and windy here, so let's go get ourselves some Californian sun.
Let's go! With palm trees lining the road and the bright morning sun guiding the way, let's head over to the San Diego Zoo. The time frame of everything was actually quite chaotic. As mentioned earlier, the collab first began with the Pikmin hide-and-seek scavenger hunt, where Pikmin statues were on display at Wildlife Explorer's base camp. This began on October 1st and ran through November 28th. However, it was best to visit during any of the weekends from October 5th to November 24th, when the Pikmin pop-up tent was put up and visitors could check into their My Nintendo account to receive 100 platinum points. In addition, the staff there would explain that anyone who could prove they found all the hidden Pikmin by snapping a picture at each location would be given a green goodie bag with some exclusive merch. Unfortunately, one of our contacts missed out on this giveaway, not knowing it was only held on the weekends, as a lot of the information was hard to find, much of it being embedded behind QR codes that could only be scanned once you were already at the venue.
Finally, towards the end of the event, was the Pikmin Bloom mini walk that started on November 16th and ended one day later than the original hide-and-seek collab on November 29th. All in all, there were a lot of dates overlapping with each other, making the event a little difficult to navigate, especially if you wanted to experience everything Pikmin related. Having more straightforward information and better organization is one of the major improvements we'd like to see at a future event here. But now that we know what to expect, let's go see what it was actually like at the first ever mini walk held in the US.
For $74 per adult for a day pass, it had quite the expensive entrance fee, but that didn't stop this huge crowd from attending. Keep in mind, this zoo is massive, and although we've never been there ourselves, it does seem like the pinnacle of all zoos, with impressive exhibits, interactive activities, and tons of animals to see, spanning a gigantic area. With so much to see aside from the Pikmin content, I think it does help to justify the price point, but it would definitely be a lot for anyone going just for the Pikmin. As a bonus, children 11 and under were able to get in for free during the month of October, which didn't help for the mini walk, which started after that promo, but it was still a nice deal for those doing the scavenger hunt early on.
Let's make our way just south of the main entrance where the Pikmin event resides at the Wildlife Explorer's base camp area, which is a relatively small corner of the zoo mainly aimed for children. There were several signs placed around the site advertising the Pikmin event with some QR codes to access the map, which could be redeemed for free via My Nintendo, although physical maps were available at the pop-up tent. On the front side of the map, you can see this beautiful collaboration artwork. Pikmin have appeared at San Diego Zoo. Pikmin are all around you, but can you find them? Keep your eyes peeled at Wildlife Explorer's base camp at San Diego Zoo. You can see 2 QR codes. The first leads to a now expired Pikmin in the Wild wallpaper set. The second brings you to the official Nintendo news site for Pikmin. On the reverse side was the map itself, which includes information both about the hide and seek as well as the mini walk. If you recall from our Pikmin Terrace video, several statues could be seen at the Miyajima service area, and it looks like some of the same models have made an appearance here. 5 Pikmin types which are indicated in the map with the blue hexagon. Some are a little tricky to spot, so visitors had to search high and low to find them all. Finally, the 4 special spots for the mini walk, which overlapped with some of the locations for the scavenger hunt, were marked with flowers numbered from 1 to 4.
Just like the Luca Mini Walk, which had a paid entrance to access the special spots within the walled city, it seemed like the locations at this one were designed specifically to prevent people from swiping them from outside the walls. This mini walk is the miniest of all, not only because it only has 4 total special spots to visit, but also because of how tiny they were. Look at that! For comparison, here's a typically sized radius used for most events. These have varied in the past, but they've never been this small before. The largest one we've ever come across was Mount Aratsu at the Fukuoka Tour. You can see the comparison here between spots A and B at that event. Now look again at how small these ones are. I think this was 100% done on purpose to prevent people from reaching them from outside the zoo. It is, after all, a collaboration event, and the zoo does need to make money, but I'm still surprised at the lengths they went, considering just a little bit of GPS drift would be enough to give the message, walk closer to interact, even if you are actually standing right on top of a special spot. Considering they could be swiped once per day throughout the duration of the event to get multiple seedlings, perhaps that's why they went the extra mile to make sure they were paywalled and made them small enough to deter people from reaching them from outside the walls. Due to this, I'm not sure how many players actually took advantage of the special spots refreshing each day, but I do know of at least 2 people who had an annual pass and were able to visit the zoo multiple times during the event. One of our contacts, Esther, even visited a total of 7 times during the event to stock up on these rare seedlings.
Let's make our way over to Special Spot 1, the Wildlife Explorer's Base Camp entrance, to get our first seedling. Swiping down on this tiny baby special spot would give players a theme park decor Pikmin, which I think is among the rarest decors for most players, considering after 2.5 years, I'm still missing a red one for my collection. This set only comes in red, blue, and yellow and has 2 ticket types, a Ferris wheel and a pirate ship. The color and ticket design were both random, so having the chance to receive multiples at this event was a great way to tackle this collection. In fact, if you check the fine print, you can see here that all decor colors were randomized. That's it for this area. It doesn't look like any Pikmin are hiding around here, so let's move on to the next one.
If the amount of special spots and their tiny radii weren't enough to convince you that this is truly the miniest mini walk of all time, maybe this next fact will. All 4 locations were extremely close to each other. Heading over to Special Spot 2 was, wait for it, about 60 meters, meaning it could be reached in under a minute at an average walking pace. It's no surprise that the radii are so small, because if they were sized normally, you could swipe 2 at once, which of course we've seen at past events, but when there's only 4 total spots to visit, swiping double wouldn't encourage much walking, now would it? I love the name of this next one. At Special Spot 2, we arrive at Spineless Marvels, a house for insect lovers with all kinds of invertebrates on display. For those who hate insects, you'll have to bear it, because swiping the special spot here will distribute the rare, the elusive, the amazing gold present sticker decor, which for the first time at a mini walk could come in either red, blue, or yellow at random. This is the rarest decor available at the event and is the biggest motivator for players to return on multiple days. Given that the only Nintendo store in the US is in New York, all the way on the East Coast, and it can only give 1 seedling per 30 days, this is perhaps the only opportunity players on the West Coast have to collect these live event exclusive Pikmin. Although keep in mind, earlier this year, Nintendo has announced plans to open a new store in San Francisco in 2025 that will likely also be turned into a special spot in-game, much like the newly constructed Nintendo store in Kyoto was. That being the case, after visiting 7 times, Esther just needed a blue Pikmin to complete her set, but sadly luck was not on her side. Here's hoping she'll get lucky the next time she has a shot at one. What's that? I can hear a cry of distress! Players checking the cliffs near the Spineless Marvels will see a blue Pikmin doing its best to save the red Pikmin. Well, hopefully we won't have a Lion King moment up there.
As long as you're willing to walk another minute, you'll be able to easily make your way over to Special Spot 3, the Rady Ambassador Presentation Area. Swiping the special spot here will give players a zoo decor Pikmin. An extremely fitting decor not just because we're at a zoo, but because this area hosts daily interactive presentations featuring all kinds of animals, giving visitors an opportunity to learn about the animals' behaviors, habitats, and conservation efforts in place to protect them. This is a nice distribution considering zoo decor is one of the most difficult sets to collect out there, although I'm sure players will find plenty of seedlings just while walking throughout the day. It seems we've come across today's interactive animal presentation. Look up along the wall. It's none other than the purple and white Pikmin having a chat. Take a photo of them and let's move on to the next one.
It's been a long and tough journey so far, but if you're willing to push yourself to your absolute physical limits, another 1-minute walk will get you to the final special spot of the day, Special Spot 4, Wild Woods. With Wistful Wild and Awakening Wood, the names of Pikmin stages, Wild Woods has a name that sounds like it came straight out of the franchise. Swiping this one will get players a waterside seedling, which, giving 200 rare decor points each, is one more thing to motivate players to come back across multiple days. One of the first questions we asked our contacts was if they thought it was possible to reach any of the special spots from outside the zoo, and PapaB from Discord reported that if any were possible, it would be this one, although he wasn't able to check personally that day. Luckily, Detective Esther was on the case, and on one of her many visits back to the zoo, she managed to do some sleuthing on the field. She reported back that although there was some thick foliage near the wall, if players got close enough to it, it was actually possible to swipe down and access Wild Woods from outside the zoo. But none of the others were possible. This discovery actually seems quite useful for anyone without the annual pass who wanted to increase those rare decor points. But since GPS drift can be a little finicky at times, I'm not sure how useful it actually would have been in practice.
With a blue hexagon marking the map here, we know we aren't far from another Pikmin sighting. If we follow the waterfall to the very top, we can see 3 Pikmin enjoying themselves up there. Although if I were red or yellow, I'd be a bit nervous being so close to all that water. With the mini walk finished, let's head to the center of the base camp to find the final 2 hidden Pikmin. Near the burrowing owl exhibit, visitors could find 3 Pikmin carrying a 5 pellet. Wait a second, don't you need 5 Pikmin to carry those? The Pikmin found at the zoo must be extra strong ones, no doubt due to their specialized diet on the premises.
Finally, right next door, you can see this yellow Pikmin holding onto a fruit very high up in a tree. Ki Pikmin wa takaku dobu tashikani desu yo ne? Don't forget to take a picture as proof that you found the final one. With all that, it's time to head back to the tent and show the staff proof that we found all 5 Pikmin displays. In exchange, visitors would receive a green goodie bag. I wonder what's inside. A special thanks to Esther, who not only sent us tons of footage for this event, and answered our many questions in great detail, and successfully completed her detective work, but she was also kind enough to send the goodie bag to my parents' home in the US. Since we're all the way over here in Japan, I asked my mom to explain what visitors would receive for this final prize. Take it away, Mom.
We got something in the mail today. Let's see what it is. And last but not least, a little field guide.
Well, as expected, that was extremely short.
It was nice seeing all the animals though. There were so many more than what can normally be found over here at Akita's Omoriyama Zoo.
That's true, but it was also a lot more expensive. It had a pretty steep price tag if you're going just for the Pikmin stuff. But if you've always wanted to visit the zoo anyway, it made for a great excuse to go.
And not only that, it was also a great opportunity to stock up on gold present sticker decor Pikmin.
That's true, the West Coast hasn't seen too many chances to collect those yet. Well, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last mini walk of the year, although there has recently been announced a smaller spot challenge event in Barcelona. Funny enough, it also has only 4 special spots, but it's not classified as a mini walk.
Well, I think that just about wraps up everything.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of event videos still to edit, a lot of videos to be making, so Until next time, thank you so much to everyone who contributed to this video, and no matter where the next mini walk will take us, hope to see you there.
Until then, see you.
See you later.
And that's a wrap.